Hey guys, it's Merlin here, and I decided that after some time, several people recommended this series to me, so I finally decided to check out Gintama. Last night I sat down and watched the first 3 episodes, so I wanted to give you guys my first impressions. Now, I've been hearing for a little while about how good this series was, apparently. I know Zoro's been into it for a while, and Hiro recently got into it not too long ago, and then Z said that it was like one of his favorite series. He said that Gintoki was like one of his highest ranked heroes in an anime series, like right up there with Goku. And so I feel like it had kind of been building for a while, but that statement's what kind of put me over the edge and said, okay, I have to check this series out. Basically, it takes place in kind of an alternate sort of semi-future. It takes place in Edo, and there are these aliens called the Amanto. They've basically kind of come down and they've sort of integrated with society, and they kind of sort of suppress the people. It's not entirely clear based on the first couple episodes, but you can tell there's some tensions. But also there's samurai running around. And the primary characters are Gintoki, Shinpachi, and Kagura. Now, Gintoki and Shinpachi are in their own rights samurai, and this is kind of like a weird parallel of the Meiji era, where the samurai were basically kind of outlawed. So that's why at first I thought it was like a historical setting, but apparently samurai still kind of existed in this semi-modern version of Japan, or the new future. So it's kind of a combination of some history that we've seen, and the main plot in some ways kind of reminded me of Kenshin, because Shinpachi and his sister have to keep this dojo going because of their father, and of course that's threatened now with the new suppression of the samurai swordman. And Kagura is one of the aliens, and she's got ridiculous super strength, and so they kind of come together after, for various reasons, they're kind of oppressed by different people and say, hey, you know what, we're going to just kind of go and make our own way, and we're going to start this little group where we go and help people out. We're basically heroes for hire, and we'll take on odd jobs, is what they say. And, you know, I was kind of expecting the comedy to be, like, full of all those references, because I think the one thing that I heard originally about the series was that there were tons of references to other anime, and it's not quite as overt as that. It's actually a little more subtle. There were a couple little jokes that were really good. There was like, oh, this company seems like an evil anime corporation, or you're setting up this particular scene, you were supposed to wait to the last minute. Well, you can't do it in this short amount of time, or I was setting up my opening scene, I'm the main character. You know, there were some little jokes blatantly making fun and referencing shonen tropes and anime tropes, but also just pop culture, like when the evil bad guys lift off, there's the Star Wars Darth Vader theme, and the one guy even has a lightsaber, and they walk into this one bar in this kind of a Western feel, so it's kind of making fun of Westerns and sci-fi and martial arts movies and the samurai code. But the comedy is more just kind of how the characters interact, and it's funny, the basic story feels very, very basic so far based on the first couple episodes. The setup's pretty standard, but there is kind of that cool little sci-fi twist that I wasn't expecting. And I was kind of expecting it to be something like Excel Saga, where it was just going to be this random, really fast-paced barrage of Japanese pop culture references, and I wasn't sure if it was really going to be, you know, something that I would get tired of. I just thought it was going to be pure comedy, but most of the comedy is just kind of more softly integrated into the storyline, like more natural, like flowing with the actual anime itself. It's not like they're constantly referencing those things. I think the thing that so far I can imagine sets it apart from some other series is that the characters are just really, really likable. I think that there's something about them. They do kind of fit into those stereotypical roles, but they really bounce off each other really well. They really have some good chemistry, and they're funny and they're likable. And the funny thing for me so far is that even though I think the comedy's decent, I've noticed that, I don't know if it's a Japanese thing or just how anime tends to do it, but generally speaking, I tend to prefer more dramatic anime series. I don't know if it doesn't matter if it's seinen or shonen. I just generally prefer more serious storylines in anime. I guess I like the way it presents drama generally, and the cool thing about Gintama, at least based on these first 3 episodes, my favorite aspect of it was that there is an actual story that is kind of semi-serious. Like, each of the characters, well, so far we haven't really gotten too much into Gintoki's backstory, but based upon Shinpachi, he had this father who was struggling to keep these honorable ideals in this changing time, and he's kind of trying to live up to his father's ideals and be the honorable samurai, and also help his sister. And Kagura was this person who was basically just trying to make her way in the world, got manipulated by other people and said, you know what, I just want to do good things now because I was working with some of the wrong people. And so I feel like their backstories were actually pretty good. Actually, they were actually kind of semi-serious, and they were characters that were going through plight, and they wanted to get together because they have those similar issues. So I actually like all the characters so far. I think it's a lot of fun. I thought the individual storylines had some real heart and some good messages. I mean, it's pretty basic shonen stuff. The overall plot has some interesting elements, but it seems fairly generic so far, but it's well done in its simplicity, I guess I should say. Like, it's a standard formula, but it seems to be doing it pretty well. I mean, based on those first 3 episodes, I can't really say it's like the best thing ever that everybody's saying it is, but it's good enough that I'd say it is pretty good, and I would continue to watch it, and I'm actually going to continue to try and watch more of it and give you guys maybe another more detailed impression once I watch a decent more of the episodes or maybe read some of the manga. But I do want to say that based upon this, I do think if you like shonen action, especially if it's like samurai, science fiction, or even if you like some kind of broad comedy, I think it's really kind of poking fun at anime, but in a good way. I think if you're a fan of anime and you appreciate humor related to that, as well as just humor poking fun of fiction and storytelling in general, I think you might get at least some amusement out of it. Plus, the characters are really awesome, and the artwork was pretty good, and the animation was pretty decent. I'm just hoping that the series will continue to build on those characters, and I'm actually really interested to see it do more dramatic storylines, which I've been told are, when they do them, some of the best in shonen. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm definitely going to watch more of it. If you guys haven't watched Gintama, I'd say give it a shot. I think you might like it, and probably give it a little more of a time to go up, but at this point they're still introducing the characters where I am. But based upon that, I think it's a pretty good show, and I'd recommend it. Alright guys, those are my initial thoughts on Gintama. Let me know what you guys thought if you've seen it, if you're going to check it out. If not, let me know. Peace.